Kool Hits 105.7 and the Kool Hits Sports Network now presents Let's Talk Sports. We'll take a look at scores and sports stories, talk with coaches, players, and others. It's Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, Stoltz Pharmacy in Greenock, River Cities Builders, and J.D. Flooring of Greenock. Now, here's your host for Let's Talk Sports, Collier.
Beautiful sunny morning, but it's a little cool out. Kind of unpredictable. If you got to see the Northern Lights last night, you suck, by the way. I tried to go outside. All of my buddies, we were all texting in the group chat. They're sending me all these amazing pictures and stuff. Yeah, the only freaking lights I have around my house is CSX. Okay. My wife's like, why can't we see it? I said, because it's like we're out in the middle of a Super Bowl party at a stadium. I mean, you can barely see the stinking stars outside, let alone the Northern Lights. But my Spencer Hutchinson texted me one. He goes, this is from my house, and I said, you're a moron. I said, that's the bridge lights in Russell. I said, you don't know where you're looking. But no, if you were out away from the city, the skies were really nice last night, and there were some beautiful pictures. Jacob Hankinson from this morning, he was at his dad's house over near Olive Hill. It was beautiful that he got this morning. But, I went outside for about 4 or 5 seconds and looked up, and all I saw glow from the giant, the arm thing that I don't know what this thing is. It's the machine. It's got like 600,000 lights on it. You could probably see it from outer space. Like, no, we're not seeing anything from here, so I went back in, went to bed. But either way, we're going to talk with Marty Mills from Raceland Baseball this morning, followed with Scott Ingram, Ashland Softball. Last week of the regular season coming up, and it's kind of the haze in the barn at this point. You are who you are, and now it's time to start looking districts, which say 20th, region follows after that, and it's hard to believe that we're here. That's the crazy part is, like, all of a sudden, bam, here we are, and we're talking about postseason baseball and softball. But we'll talk with both of them. Major League Baseball full roundup from last night. A lot of games on tap. The Deads actually won, and they beat the Giants 4-2 at San Francisco. That snapped a 9-game losing streak for the Reds. We'll check the standings from there. Run through the games in the NBA playoffs. Conference finals going on. And some good series, especially last night, that you had Minnesota and Dallas that switched to Minnesota after Minnesota took both in Dallas. And what happens? Dallas goes on the road and wins Game 3. So, listen, the NBA, it's rigged. I don't care what you say. After, they got a guy to suspend for life for betting on the game, and he was betting for his team to lose, and it was part of games. And then he was working with people to where if they were betting the under bets, and then he checked into a game because the player has to be in the game for their bets to play. And then all of a sudden, his goal anchored, and he checked himself out of the game. So all of these unders were going to pay. And some idiot decided that he was going to put a bunch of money on this, and then it was going to pay out like crazy big. And, of course, it threw a red flag at that point. That's how it all kind of started the investigation. Well, that guy's in big-time trouble. He's probably going to serve some time. The player got suspended for life for gambling. But, yeah, that's just – I've always said the NBA is fixed, and I still stick by it. The NBA is garbage, though. I hate the NBA. It's so hard to watch. Either way, we'll check around that. And the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the week a little bit later on. Put your freaking phone down, for the love of God. And I'm not talking to the adults. I'm talking to the kids. Watching kids having to use portable chargers at 8 o'clock in the morning, for God's sake. We'll talk about that a little later. Let's take a break. We come back. We got Marty Mills in. We'll talk some Rams baseball when we return after this on Let's Talk Sports on the Kool Sports Network.
River Cities Builders is a licensed general contractor specializing in commercial and industrial projects, and they have a history and reputation of providing top-notch expertise through their experienced and devoted workforce. River Cities Builders also is a gas facility maintenance company offering petroleum equipment maintenance and EMV-compliant upgrades for smart payment terminals, and they offer 24 hours, 7 days a week emergency service. Call 606-473-4112 or visit rivercitiesbuildersinc.com.
If you're looking for a complete discount pharmacy with old-fashioned service and excellent prices, look no more. Since 1979, Stultz Pharmacy has provided our area with the finest in pharmacy care, 24-hour emergency prescription service, free delivery, and drive-through service for prescriptions. Stultz Pharmacy continues to fill all of your expectations. They carry a nice selection of gift items. For home service, see the professionals at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup. More than you expect from a pharmacy.
Stultz Pharmacy.
JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road Greenup has been family owned and operated for over 30 years, featuring top-of-the-line material, guaranteed installation, and absolutely no one can beat JD Flooring's price. Need to replace your current flooring in one room or the entire house? Call JD Flooring in Greenup, 606-473-0411 for a free estimate. A call can get your house ready for any occasion. You'll absolutely love your new flooring from JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup.
Quality Marathon gasoline, great monthly specials on snacks and beverages, and fantastic service. Those are the qualities of Clark's Pump and Shops. You'll find a Clark's Pump and Shop near you in the Bluegrass and beyond. And Rick and Brent Clark want you to know that they take pride in giving you the best prices and service, and they thank you for your patronage. Clark's Pump and Shops are a division of the John W. Clark Oil Company. Clark's Pump and Shops. Return, refresh, refuel.
The greatest songs, 105.7.
See, that's the kind of music you should be playing. Not that trash you put on my show last week. I don't even know what that stuff was. Back here on Let's Talk Sports, let's go to the phone lines. From Raceland Baseball, Marty Mills is in. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Oh, James, how are you?
Now, see, here's this. This is where I screwed up. I should have played you some stinking Beatles music as much as we have to talk about the Beatles all this year. But I totally missed the opportunity on that one. We all both need some help on that.
There you go. Yeah, it's there's several good tunes there. Good playlist.
Without a doubt. 25-6 on the season. One final push. You got a home game Monday night against Fairland. We'll have that game right here on Kool TV. You head over to Grayson on Tuesday night, a good matchup with East Carter, also on Kool TV. And then you wrap things up to wrap up the regular season, and district starts up on May 20th. What have you liked about your team this year as kind of the ebbs and flows have you gone through your first 31 games?
Well, it's just like most years, but this year it's been pretty good as far as the kids. Kids have been real responsive all year, and our kids do a really good job of paying attention and the day-to-day stuff and the detail stuff, and it's they're a fun group to every year. One time, old football coach of mine, Coach Ross, one time told me the great thing about coaching is every year it's always different, and no matter what sports you're coaching or what you're doing, because the kids are so different each year and they become different from year to year, that makes it really special. And this group here is no different. So it's been a lot of fun so far. We've hit kind of the ground running, so to speak, and kept going and going and going. And right now, it's a good place for us, to be honest with you.
Having the ability to play on turf this year, how big has that been for not only just the consistency of playing every day that you're scheduled, but also the way that the practice schedule works, where every day you get the same consistency of every ball that's in play?
Oh yeah, well that's been a work in progress itself, to be honest with you. Springtime especially, the weather plays such a big part of your season because it gives you rain out days, gives you off days, and things like that. So we kind of got into the year with, like I said, getting the ground running, so to speak, and we were a little late getting on it, but we got to practice on our football field. And, after a while, you have to schedule some days off and scheduling days that kind of got to give them some breaks and things like that. But yeah, it's made a huge impact on who we are at this point. The amount of reps we're allowed to do, the amount of just everything we can cover, really.
The other side of it, too, is there has not been any rainouts, and for that, you've had several contests that have shifted to your place because the other venue was rained out. How big has that been of understanding, especially for the player side, knowing it's game day, it's a home game, we're going to play, and if the other side can't play, we're probably going to play here?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a big part of it. It's kind of like, you get into just practicing our indoor building that's right there on the field. We have our kids always know that even when it was raining before, we were going to do something. But now, we can actually just we're going to play or we're going to practice, every day. But we've had several situations this year. We've moved the venue. It's worked out really well. It's rained right up to game time, really. And 15 minutes later, we're pretty dry and just keep on going. So that's all been a big adjustment for us as well.
Now, the one adjustment that you still have to make is you're probably going to have to practice with a slip and slide for those rainy games so we can learn how to slide at second base, whatever the rain is absolutely just soaks the turf.
Oh, yeah. We have a couple of situations where you slide on by the bag and get tagged out. And the other thing, too, you have situations where your foot's not as firm to make a throw or get early and like after a heavy rain or something. But it's all adjustments, and it's like everything else, it's just progressive. But it's so far it's played out really well.
How much have you seen the difference, though, of when you guys have stepped away from the turf, of going over to natural surfaces, of the confidence being, even though that they may not get that pure roll or that pure bounce, but they're so accustomed to seeing it on the home field that's the way they play it when they attack on the natural grass?
I think it's worked out really well, to be honest with you. Sometimes you hear turf teams and natural grass teams, things of that nature. And if you look at a lot of the teams throughout the state that have turf, I mean, you don't have a drop off between defensive situations, in my opinion. And I also kind of felt like going through the year, going from both to natural, the kids, our kids seem like their fundamentals are getting better because their approaches are getting better, but those are just habits. So when you can improve your habits, those habits no matter where you're at. If that makes sense.
You got a nice win Thursday night, knocking off Bath in a pitcher's duel. Braden Webb and Braden Russos really did the job from the bump for both of their teams. But Webb finishes with 11 strikes in the ballgame, and doing so pretty much without his breaking ball in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's really been a really good. He's done a job of really finding himself throughout a baseball game. And when he takes the mound, I mean, I think his mind at this point, he's looking to finish a game, which I think a lot of our guys do at this point. But with him and him and Shore, especially both of those two guys, if one pitch isn't working or working at that time, they're still trying to work on it. We try to throw it in situations to develop that pitch as the game goes on, and usually new guys will find that pitch at some point.
He's a guy that it seems like when he takes the bump, a lot of times he doesn't get a lot of offensive run support, but he's got 2 of his last 3 starts. He's battled through shutouts in complete game efforts. A 1-0 win over Russell in the opening of the district game there, the first 2, and then that 2-0 win over Bath County. Is he the type of guy that he can understand, hey, the runs may come late, I may only see 1 run, but I'm doing a job and keep them scoreless off the board?
Yeah, I think that, over the last few years anyway, I think that for the biggest part, our guys try to just worry about taking care of their situation, and they know that at some point in time, something will break loose, and we usually don't get too much poor body language or nothing like that, and I think the kids just go out there and they're locked in. Our pitchers are usually locked in. And one thing we always talk about is, as our pitchers, like at the high school level, they're all dualists, meaning they're pitchers and they're position players. So they've made mistakes, and they're also hitting at the same time, and they're help providing the offense just like everybody else.
Some other guys in that pitching staff that's been really big for you this year, obviously Caden Shore. He pitched guy, strong arm from the right side, runs it up in the mid-80s. Briar Parsons has been huge for you on the hill. Brigham Davidson's given you some really good innings in relief. Those right there have been the kind of the ones that have worked with Webb that have gone out and give you a great rotation with that 1, 2, and 3 guys where you're not having to find a day in the rotation where it's Johnny Bullpen's day to throw.
That's right, and it's that's the one thing about Briar Parsons. He's kind of come to his own this year, and we made him a pitcher only this year. I think it's worked out really well for him and for us, and he's really kind of locked in and had a really good season at this point, and has earned some quality innings on the mound for us. But he's done a really good job, and then of course Brigham as a freshman. Landon Bloss comes in, and Landon hasn't thrown much in the last couple, about the last week or so, but he's one of those guys too. But he had a growing issue, so we kind of shut him down off the mound a little bit. But he's back throwing now too. But those young guys have really stepped up and helped us out, and they come in and they can kind of seize the moment and hit their spots as well.
Through your lineup, it starts at the top of the order with Parker Fannin, and when he gets on, good things happen. Second in the state in stolen bases, and it's just he puts so much pressure on the pitcher when he gets on base because of the fact it's not if he's going to go, it's when he's going to go.
Well, I think it's we try to apply the pressure up and down the lineup. We've got some guys who can run, but Parker has had an exceptional season. Obviously, the stolen bases, but when you move into the top of the order, everything changes for you. What you're asked of, and he's never led off for us until this year, and he's done a really good job of understanding that, and kind of sacrificing his own batting average, so to speak, and doing things that as the table setters could do or should do, and then also have the power to drive people in.
One of the things with him is that he anchors your outfield there in center field, and because of that speed that he has, he can go gap to gap so well to where it allows you to kind of almost cheat those outfielders on the corners more toward the line because you know he's going to be able to make up the difference.
Yeah, I think what's one of the strengths of our team defensively is our outfield. Parker's obviously, he's a 4-year guy out there that he can close the gap down. Plus, Zane Bailey's really kind of coming to his own this year. I think Zane is one of the finer outfielders we have in the 16th region. Go along with Parker. Zane can also whenever Parker goes to pitch, we put Zane in center field, and really and honestly, we can do the same thing with him as he covers the gaps and the other guys take care of the lines.
One of the things with your defense, though, is pretty much up the middle of the end of the field, you're set. Lynn behind the plate, Ison and Pennington at short and second, respectively, Fannin in center field. And you do your switching on the corners of the outfield and the infield, and that really helps you keep your consistency where you want it, right up the middle of the field.
Yeah, that's about as old school baseball as you get. I think a lot of people think that's old school, new school. We like to think that we're now school, and the big thing with that is we've always been strong up the middle, and that's a belief system. I think it goes way back to early baseball. And if you look at all levels of baseball now, you have to be strong up the middle to be able to compete.
Looking at your final 3 games of the regular season, we close things out on Monday with the matchup with Fairland. Then you go to East Carter and Ashland. What do you like about those 3 games before you go into district play starting on May 20th?
Well, we're going to see really good pitching from Fairland. We're going to see Fairland has some outstanding arms, and they have had for the last 2 or 3 years. So we know we're going to see high velocity arms there. Obviously, East Carter's one of the top teams in our region, if not the best hitting team, and defensively, they're very, very solid. We played them early in the year, but they're very, very solid and one of the contenders for 16th region. And of course, you finish up at Ashland. Ashland's really young, doing a good job. So it gives us 3 games in 4 days. So we want to kind of look at those types of scenarios.
That's what I was saying. This last week emulates kind of what the makeup would be come region tournament time.
Yeah, and that's what if you look through our schedule, we try to do as best as you can as far as like putting. If you go back and look at our schedule, we put 3 days together, or 4 straight days of games together to try to simulate district play or regional play, things of that nature. And then obviously the last, start with our district seed games every Monday, Tuesday. We try to have a game every Monday, Tuesday, so because the district tournament's going to fall on Monday, Tuesday.
Head coach for the Raceland Rams, Marty Mills, joining us. Coach, always a pleasure. I'll see you Monday night out there. Have me some music queued up so we can play something good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll have some Beatles out there for you, buddy.
Yeah, you know what you can do with your Beatles. Have a good weekend, my man. I'll see you Monday.
You too. All right.
So the funny story where we're going with the music. So we did a game. It's been several weeks back out there, and we've got our big shotgun microphone. That's the long microphones that points toward home plate. And what it does is it allows you to pick up the pop of the ball into the mid, the sound of the bat. It makes it sound like you have a microphone standing right there. So, we're probably some 70 feet behind home plate where we're set up and everything. So we get over there one night, and they've got all this music playlist and stuff. Well, the next morning I get up, and on YouTube, our video got blocked because we had copyrighted music playing through it. I started looking through this list, and I'm just like, for the love of God. So I gave Mills a hard time. I was like, dude, you're killing me with this music. I said, it's getting me blocked on YouTube, so I have to go in at the music so that it'll turn the video back on. And he goes, well, we've got this music all set up. He goes, it's specific spots. So, like, when a team makes a visit to match for their pitcher, they play the Beatles' Help. Okay, we need some help. Call somebody, need some help. And I was like, yeah, that's the one song that's getting me crushed on YouTube, by the way. So now I've got it to the point where I know his playlist. So as soon as they come out, the first thing I do is I grab the shotgun microphone, I turn it off. And I start talking, and I just because if I talk enough, it covers up the music in the background, and it doesn't pick it up to where it's like we're playing it, just playing that music. But that's where and so when I did the article that next day, I did an article for it, and I used the Beatles' Help in the lead of the title there. I told him, I said, here, I'll give you a little bit of, but yeah, that's the kind of the running joke out there is the music and the playlist, and it's crazy. We have no control over it is the crazy part of it. It still just dings you to crazy, but it is what it is. We keep the games on, and it's fun, but little funny there between Coach Mills and I. We go way back. We coached. We were with Coach Vanderhoof, and we spent, I think, 5 years together there before Coach Vanderhoof retired, and Coach Mills took the head coaching job, and I retired because my son was finished playing and stuff. So I moved on to the broadcasting side, but I think a lot of the world of Marty and the stuff that he does there. He's got a really great program. All right, we'll take a break. We come back. We'll switch softball side of things. We'll talk with Scott Ingram. He's on a school bus headed to Boyle County. This one's always fun when you're on a bus. We'll see what the kids do with this one. But that's when we return here on Let's Talk Sports on the Kool Sports Network.
Cities Builders is a licensed general contractor specializing in commercial and industrial projects, and they have a history and reputation of providing top-notch expertise through their experienced and devoted workforce. River Cities Builders also is a gas facility maintenance company offering petroleum equipment maintenance and EMV compliant upgrades for smart payment terminals, and they offer 24 hours 7 days a week emergency service. Call 606-473-4112 or visit rivercitiesbuildersinc.com.
If you're looking for a complete discount pharmacy with old-fashioned service and excellent prices, look no more. Since 1979, Stultz Pharmacy has provided an area with the finest in pharmacy care, 24-hour emergency prescription service, free delivery, and drive-through service for prescriptions. Stultz Pharmacy continues to fill all of your expectations. They carry a nice selection of gift items. For hometown service, see the professionals at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup. More than you expect from a pharmacy.
Stultz Pharmacy.
JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup, has been family-owned and operated for over 30 years, featuring top-of-the-line material and installation, and absolutely no one can beat JD Flooring's price. Need to replace your current flooring in one room or the entire house? Call JD Flooring in Greenup, 6-473-0411 for a free estimate. A call that can get your house ready for any occasion. You'll absolutely love your new flooring from G Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup.
Quality Marathon gasoline, great monthly specials on snacks and beverages, and fantastic service. Those are the Clark's Pump and Shops. You'll find a Clark's Pump and Shop near you in the Bluegrass State and beyond. And Rick and Brent Clark want you to know that they take pride in giving you the best prices and service, and they thank you for your patronage. Clark's Pump and Shops are a division of the John W. Clark Oil Company. Clark's Pump and Shops. Return, refresh, refuel.
Cool Hits weather is brought to you by Big Sandy Superstores of the Tri-State. For all your furniture and appliance needs, see Big Sandy today.
Cool Hits weather.
Light rain early today with a slight risk of thunderstorms later on this afternoon. A high of 71, partly cloudy, low of 48. Sunshine once again on Sunday, high of 74.
Cool Hits 105.7.
If you believe that Joker's weather forecast, I would sell you some oceanfront property front up on the Ohio River right now. He told me this morning, Tony Cavalier's going to rain at 11. Bob Ross couldn't put a cloud in the sky right now. It's so blue. I mean, you could see to the moon right now. It's so blue outside. Yeah, listen to the rain forecast and then do the opposite. Hey, let's go to the phone lines. Joining us now from Ashland softball, it's Scott Ingram. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good, Jay.
Hey, doing well. Thanks for joining us this morning. I know you're on a bus headed down to Boyle County. You've got a couple of games this morning. What do you like about getting a chance to get out on a Saturday before you get that week of the regular season and seeing some teams away from the area that is going to simulate some of the stuff you want to see when you get into postseason play?
Yeah, I think it's very important to do that. I always try to get out and see some teams, especially this time of year. I just think it's important for us to either see equal or more talented teams than potentially what we see in our region. So I think it'll be a good test for us for the last week or so of the season.
You've played some really strong teams over your last 3 games. You had a nice win over Frederick Douglass on the road, took a tough loss to East Carter 5-5 at home, and then you went to Greenup last time out on back-to-back nights with East Carter, and you went 8-7 in Lloyd. How big was that for you to come out of that 3-game series with 2 wins?
Well, it was a good week for sure. And we missed, we were supposed to play. So with all the crazy weather this week got rained out. So it was a big week, but I think overall pretty happy with how everything turned out. The Greenup win was obviously, and we lost to a good East Carter team. But came up a little short there. It was good to come away with 2 wins this week.
How big was it to get a win like that against Greenup, against a team that top of the 63rd district's obviously in the conversation for one of the teams that's going to make a run of the 16th region tournament, but getting a win on that home field, how big was that?
It was pretty big, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't want to overstate it too much. I mean, 10 days of regular season win, but just more importantly than the team, the way that we went about it was what I think just that we were missing. I've told them all year we've got to go through some things. We've just got a lot of inexperience and kids who just haven't been through some stuff. And the one thing that we really hadn't done yet was come from behind. Not only come behind once, but come from behind twice. And and then held it down in the 7th. So I thought that was a really big win for us, honestly.
And this is a team you talk about the inexperience, and you can kind of see that through your schedules. You've not really strung together a long winning streak, and there's not been a lot of losing streaks in there either. It's just been kind of a roller coaster of a ride of up and down around 500. But each time you get better, you can see it when you start playing the better teams. And you got a big win there over Boyd County in the middle part of April, and then bouncing back with the win over Greenup County as you push in the final week of the regular season. And you always hear teams, they say, you don't want to peak too early. Do you feel like that you're finally reaching that plateau of where you wanted to try to get to when you guys started this thing back in March?
We're on our way. I still think, we've got another tough week coming up, starting today, obviously. But we've still got things to learn, and we'll be learning probably, the rest of this week, probably learn some more in the district. I mean, at the end of the day, some of these kids just, even if they've been around a little bit, they haven't gone through a district tournament. And if we're fortunate to advance in a regional tournament. So it's going to be a learning process all the way through, until we're done. But yeah, we're really, I like where we're headed. Our trajectory is on a path that I like at the moment.
You talked about your schedule next week. You've got 3 games that are separated with 4 days. Lawrence County on the road on Tuesday. You bring Raceland in on Thursday, Russell in on Friday. You're talking about 3 postseason teams that you're looking at right there. What do you like that you get that type of atmosphere there in those final 3 games of the regular season?
Oh, it's going to be a test. Lawrence County's probably the favorite right now at 15. They beat Johnson Central this week. He's feels like the 30-time reigning regional champion down there. And then, we've got 2 good 63rd districts matchup coming up as well. So it'll be another good measure of where we're at this coming week. We get the last two at home, fortunately, but that'll help out some. But, we need to get used to that also.
So you look at your lineup this season, and the top half of your lineup has really been where your consistency has gone through. Jenna Delaney and Brooklyn Duckweiler kind of at the top there, batting over 400 each. Table setters that go out, do the stuff that you need to do, and allows everybody else around them to kind of feed off of what they bring to the table.
Yeah, Grace Delaney as well has been really good for us at the top. They've all three had really, really good years, and then we've had a lot of process coming on strong right now, Eddie Lane, and then at the bottom of there, it also has become more consistent, just finding a way to give us something, whether it's a base hit or walk or getting on by an air. So we're trying to obviously firm that up a little bit for the postseason, but it's again, the trajectory of that has been better as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that progresses this week also.
Postseason for you this year, you guys don't have to go very far. Districts and region will be at Ashland this year in the 64th and then the 16th region. How big is that for the program of knowing you can play on your home field all the way through?
I think I'm sorry, I got distracted for just a second, James. You asked me about being at home through the postseason, correct?
Yes.
That's a big. I think it's an advantage for sure. Now, for a variety of reasons, no bus rides. You're in your locker room. You're in your environment. So I don't think I can sit here and spin it some way that says it's not an advantage for us. Like it's an advantage for any team, but at the end of the day, that you still got to go out and play, right? And you can't just show up and say, "Well, it's on our field, we're going to win." But yeah, I definitely think last year with Lewis County, even though they didn't finish it out at their field or wherever it's at, I think it's definitely an advantage for that host team for sure.
Well, Coach, I know you're on a bus and it's you're in some tight quarters, so I'm going to let you get going. And best of luck this weekend on your matchups with Pulaski County and Central Hardin, and looking forward to catching up to you in the postseason.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, James. Appreciate all the coverage you give us, Larry. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott Ingram from Ashland joining us here on the show. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll check scores from around Major League Baseball last night as well as the NBA playoffs. That's as we continue here. Let's Talk Sports on the Kool Sports Network.
River Cities Builders is a licensed general contractor specializing in commercial and industrial projects, and they have a history and reputation of providing top-notch expertise through their experienced and devoted workforce. River Cities Builders also is a gas facility maintenance company offering petroleum equipment maintenance and EMV-compliant upgrades for smart payment terminals, and they offer 24 hours, 7 days a week emergency service. Call 606-473-4112 or visit rivercitiesbuildersinc.com.
If you're looking for a complete discount pharmacy with old-fashioned service and excellent prices, look no more. Since 1979, Stultz Pharmacy has provided our area with the finest in pharmacy care, 24-hour emergency prescription service, free delivery, and drive-through service for prescriptions. Stultz Pharmacy continues to fill all of your expectations. They carry a nice selection of gift items. For hometown service, see the professionals at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup. More than you expect from a pharmacy.
Stultz Pharmacy.
JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup, has been family-owned and operated for over 30 years, featuring top-of-the-line material, guaranteed installation, and absolutely no one can beat JD Flooring's price. Need to replace your current flooring in one room or the entire house? Call JD Flooring in Greenup, 606-473-0411 for a free estimate. A call can get your house ready for any occasion. You'll absolutely love your new flooring from JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup.
Quality Marathon gasoline, great monthly specials on snacks and beverages, and fantastic service. Those are the qualities of Clark's Pump and Shops. You'll find a Clark's Pump and Shop near you in the Bluegrass State and beyond. And Rick and Brent Clark want you to know that they take pride in giving you the best prices and service, and they thank you for your patronage. Clark's Pump and Shops are a division of the John W. Clark Oil Company. Clark's Pumpin' Chops. Return, refresh, refuel.
The Tri-State's Cool Hits 105.7.
Back here on Let's Talk Sports on the Kool Sports Network. Big thanks to Scott Ingram and Marty Mills this morning joining me here on the show. I'm over here wondering when I need to get my rain gear out and my umbrella. And then I'm looking at the sky and, jeez, oh, Pete. This guy's got one job to do. Just put a formidable forecast out there that we can let our listeners know what to expect. Oh, it's going to thunderstorm and rain. It's just like doomsday. Yeah. Listen, if you're going outside, you better bring some sunscreen with you. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that right now. Okay? You might need these things called sunglasses. Just saying. But, you know, it's Dwayne. Hey, it is a big weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend. So make sure to take care of moms out there this weekend. I'm going to go over, get a chance to go see Mom tomorrow. And, you know, it's when you talk about moms and everything they do, you talk about a thankless job. Being a mother, you're doing everything. And, you know, I've been so fortunate to have a wonderful mother that provided for me, cared for me, loved for me. And, you know, I couldn't do everything that I've been able to achieve in my life without the great support of my mom and my dad as well. But make sure to take care of the moms this weekend. And again, it shouldn't have to be a day that says, hey, this is Mother's Day for you to do something special. You know, the moms out there, they deserve it. I'm, you know, very fortunate too. My wife, a phenomenal mother of our two children. We're going down today to go see my son in Lexington. We get to go see the grandbaby as well. But Trey, our youngest son, he and his girlfriend and her mom, they're leaving on a cruise tomorrow. So they fly out of Lexington tomorrow. So we got to kind of move everything up. So we're going to go to Lexington, go hang out with the family, go eat some food, you know, go see the grandbaby just to make it a good day and everything. And then tomorrow get to go visit my wife's. We'll go see her mom. I'll go see mine and everything like that on Sunday. But just, again, very, very blessed to have two great mother figures around me, with one, my wife, and two, my actual mother. But couldn't do everything that I've been able to achieve without those two great ladies. And my mom, she's phenomenal. She will be 90 years old and still running 100 miles an hour. If you know, everybody out there that knows my mom, they're shaking their head yes right now because they know how she is. She is go, go, go. There's nothing that slows her down. She broke her foot back during the COVID year, and we got her one of those little scooters, and she almost wrecked it because we couldn't get her to slow down. I had to build her a ramp to get up and in and out of the house, and she come off that ramp one time and looked like Tony Hawk on a half pipe. I mean, she was just down that ramp she went. I was like, for the love of God, I said, we can't slow you down for anything. But, Mom, I love you, and thanks for everything that you've been there for me. Let's go to the Major League Baseball scores from last night. It was the Astros over the Tigers 5-2 up in Detroit. Cubs beat the Pirates 7-2. Yankees blanked the Rays 2-0 down at the Trop. It was the Orioles over the D-backs 4-2 in Baltimore. Twins won better than the Blue Jays 3-2. It was the Nationals over the Red Sox 5-1 up in Fenway. Red Sox continue to struggle at home. Braves beat up on the Mets 4-2. It was the Phillies over the Marlins 8-2. Last night it was just a bunch of twos. A lot of games with twos in them last night. White Sox double up the Guardians 6-3 in Chicago. Brew Crew over the Cardinals 11-2. Rockies 4, Rangers 2. Royals 2, Angels 1. Padres 2, Dodgers 1. Mariners 8, Athletics 1. Reds 4, Giants 2. How many games? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games last night that somebody scored 2 runs. That's crazy. That should have been like a prop bet on DraftKings or something. There was probably some moron that did that. Hey, there is a guy out right now. So before all of the season started, he did I think it was a 4-leg parlay. So he bet the Texas Rangers to win the World Series, Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, Scotty Scheffler to win the Masters, and he's got the OKC Thunder to win the NBA championship. So if this thing pays out, if he lets it go all the way through, it's over $1 million. I think it was a $100 bet he put on this thing. Right now, he's being offered a $100,000 payout. So what happens with these betting companies? So when you bet these multi-legs, as they get closer to happening of them paying out, they start offering you lucrative payouts, okay? So I had one last year. It was a baseball game. I had 4 teams that were playing, and it was going to pay out close to $700 if it hit. And I was halfway through, and it was looking really good, and they're already offering me like $300. I think it got up to like $400 at one point, and I rode it all the way out, and it paid all the way through. But this guy he's got himself OKC lost yesterday. So now they're up 2-1 in the series. So now he's like, oh, do I get my squirm or do I get – but here's the thing. I think OKC comes out of the West. So this guy's probably going into the NBA Finals with one leg of his parlay to pay, and they're probably going to be offering him somewhere around about $350,000, $400,000. That's not too bad on a $100 return. Now, you got to look across the other side in the Eastern Conference and say, okay, who are they playing? Most think it's going to be the Celtics, and most think the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. But what would you do in that situation? Probably $2-3 million that has to happen for it to cash. Or do you take a fresh, cool $450 and walk away? Because here's the thing. If they get in, say OKC gets into that series, and it's OKC into the Celtics, and the Celtics go up 2-0, they're going to drag that back to the point, if they go up 2-0, they may take the payout option off completely. And you have nothing that you can get. So then it's all or nothing. So this guy, there's been a lot of people following this guy because, again, this started last fall. Texas won the World Series. Then the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Scotty Scheffler runs through the Masters. And now it's all up to the OKC Thunder. So it was. I saw a video. It's what made me think of it last night that had popped up. And he's like, listen, everybody has to take a stumble somewhere in the playoffs. We'll get it back. But if you haven't watched this, you need to find this guy because, there's a lot of coverage around this because he is set to make a lot of money or potentially lose what could be a lot of money. Now, here at the end of the day, he's only losing $100 if it doesn't cash. That's one way to look at it. That's all he's invested. The other money is just money that's out there. But, you think about that. You're looking at 100 large off a $100 bet that is, all you have to do is hit take payout. Take payout. That would be crazy to think of. That's just a crazy bet to look at. All right, standings around the bigs. Baltimore, they are at the top of the American League East. Half game in front of the Yankees at 25-12. Yankees are 26-14. Baltimore's won 8 of their last 10. Yankees 7 of their last 10. Red Sox are at even 19-19, but they've fallen in 6 of their last 10, including 3 consecutive. Tampa Bay a game under 500. Toronto rounds out the basement at 17-21. Cleveland has a half-game lead on the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. The Guardians have won 24 games. Minnesota has won 23, lost 15. Kansas City won 24, lost 16. But Minnesota and Kansas City have been the best team in that division over the last couple of weeks. Minnesota, 8 of their last 10. Kansas City, 7 of their last 10. The Tigers have cooled off significantly. They've lost 7 of their last 10. They're at even 19-19. The White Sox, I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. They are 11 games now in the win column, so they could salvage what could possibly be one of the worst records in baseball in the history of Major League. But, man, it takes a lot to do that. Hey, they're not the worst team in baseball anymore. That's the Miami Marlins. They've only won 10 games. American League West, the Rangers starting to pick up some pace. They lead the Mariners by a half game at 22-18. Oakland, 18-22. The Oakland Athletics, man, I'm telling you right now, they are going to make a push and get themselves in the postseason. And what a way it would be to end their final year in Oakland than walking out with 2 middle fingers in the air to the ownership and say, here's what we did. This is Major League in real life, Major League the movie, the Cleveland Indians, except it's being played by the Oakland Athletics. This is, it's phenomenal. And this is almost exactly where they were the year that they did the Moneyball stuff, okay? And then July came around, all of a sudden they started winning. Remember, they won 20 games in a row. Something serious is going to happen in Oakland. Mark my word. They're not going to be sellers this year. Why? Buy it up, man. Spend every penny you got to spend. Nobody cares after this year. You're going to go play in a minor league ballpark that seats about 5,000 people. Nobody will care about your existence until you go to Vegas. Spend the farm, man. Break the bank in Oakland. But the Oakland Athletics, man, I am all in on the Oakland Athletics making the postseason. Listen, if they've got to beat my Red Sox to get in the postseason, I'm down for it. I'm okay with that. Take them out. But I want to see Oakland in the postseason. I think that would be phenomenal. Houston and the Angels, my God, how bad are they this year? They've won 28 games combined. They're in the basement of the West. In the East, I think the biggest shocker is the Philadelphia Phillies. They got the best record in baseball, 27-12. A 2-game lead over the Braves, who are at 23-12. Washington, 1 game over 500. The Mets, a game under 500. And then the Miami Marlins, they suck. They're 10-30. 10.5 games back in the wild card. 17.5 games out of first place. I think Miami, you could go ahead and say you're mathematically eliminated. In the Central, the Brew Crew's at the top, half game in front of the Cubbies. Reds, 4 games under 500. Losing 8 in a row didn't help. They've lost 8 of their last 10, though. The Deads. They just, I couldn't imagine being a Reds fan. It's got to be painful. Got to be painful. The Buccos, they're at 17-22. They're a half game behind the Reds. St. Louis rounding out the basement. Dodgers in the West, they've got a 5.5 game lead over the Padres. They're at 26-14. Padres 21-20. Arizona, San Francisco, and Colorado rounding things out. All right, over to the NBA. Last night, 2 games on tap. It was Game 3 with the Pacers and the Knicks as this series shifted to Indiana. And the Pacers pick up their first win in the series, 111-106. Knicks now lead the series 2-1 as Game 4 will play at Indiana. In the Western Conference, these two teams can't decide whose home floor they like to play on. Minnesota took both games in Dallas and then go home last night and lay an egg against the Nuggets. Nuggets hammer the Minnesota Timberwolves at their home floor, 117-90. That's insane. And Nikola Jokic, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. Anthony Edwards, 19 points, 6 boards for the Timberwolves, who now lead that series 2-1. On tap today, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Celtics and Cavs tied at 1-1 in that game, or in that series, after the Cavs stole away Game 2 up in Boston. And the Thunder and the Mavs, they are also tied at 1-1, and that game going to Dallas. And I need to make an adjustment here because I just made a mistake when I said this. Not the Dallas, it was Denver. My mistake. Denver Nuggets. That's the team that I think has probably the best chance of knocking off OKC, but they got to get past the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves are pretty stinking good. Tomorrow, you'll get Game 4 between the Knicks and the Pacers. That is at 3:30, and then 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8 p.m. up in Minneapolis. So that's where we stand I still like the Knicks, even though they're beaten and battered. I still like the Knicks to come out on that side. I like the Celtics. I think it's Celtics-Knicks. Celtics take that one in 5. And then I've been big on the Timberwolves all year. I think it's going to be the Timberwolves and the Thunder. And I think the Thunder move on in 6 games in that one. I think the Timberwolves' defense is what makes things tough. But, again, you've got the Nuggets and the defending champs. And Jokic is ridiculous. I mean, this guy's a cheat code. Everything he does is a cheat code. But I like Anthony Edwards. That kid is so savvy. I think this series goes 7. I will not be surprised for it to go to 7 games. But I think that's going to be a great series, and that is going to benefit OKC. That's the big thing. They can sit back and watch while these two teams beat the living tar out of each other. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a UK guy, averaging over 30 a game, nearly 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks, nearly 34 points a game, almost 10 rebounds, almost 10 assists. He's a triple-double every night. But that's going to be a fun series to watch if the Mavs can find a way to push the Thunder. That benefits the other side. But I still think the Nuggets and the Timberwolves are going to go 7 games. I think the Thunder closes out the Mavs in 5, maybe 6 at the most. But either way. Celtics got to take care of the Cavaliers. I think that one goes 5, as the Celtics should win big on the road tonight. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Put the phone down. That's when we return after this on Let's Talk Sports on the Kool Sports Network.
River Cities Builders is a licensed general contractor specializing in commercial and industrial projects, and they have a history and reputation of providing top-notch expertise through their experienced and devoted workforce. River Cities Builders also is a gas facility maintenance company offering petroleum equipment maintenance and EMV-compliant upgrades for smart payment terminals, and they offer 24 hours, 7 days a week emergency service. Call 606-473-4112 or visit rivercitiesbuildersinc.com.
If you're looking for a complete discount pharmacy with old-fashioned service and excellent prices, look no more. Since 1979, Stultz Pharmacy has provided our area with the finest in pharmacy care, 24-hour emergency prescription service, free delivery, and drive-through service for prescriptions. Stultz Pharmacy continues to fill all of your expectations. They carry a nice selection of gift items. For hometown service, see the professionals at Stultz Pharmacy in Greenup. More than you expect from a pharmacy.
Stultz Pharmacy.
JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup, has been family-owned and operated for over 30 years, featuring top-of-the-line material, guaranteed installation, and absolutely no one can beat JD Flooring's price. Need to replace your current flooring in one room or the entire house? Call JD Flooring in Greenup, 606-473-0411 for a free estimate. A call can get your house ready for any occasion. You'll absolutely love your new flooring from JD Flooring, 2017 Ashland Road, Greenup.
Quality Marathon gasoline, great monthly specials on snacks and beverages, and fantastic service. Those are the qualities of Clark's Pump and Shops. You'll find a Clark's Pump and Shop near you in the Bluegrass State and beyond. And Rick and Brent Clark want you to know that they take pride in giving you the best prices and service, and they thank you for your patronage. Clark's Pump and Shops are a division of the John W. Clark Oil Company. Clark's Pump and Shops. Return, refresh, refuel.
Cool Hits weather is brought to you by Big Sandy Superstores of the Tri-State. For all your furniture and appliance needs, see Big Sandy today.
Cool Hits weather.
Light rain early today with a slight risk of thunderstorms later on this afternoon. A high of 71, partly cloudy tonight, low of 48. Sunshine once again on Sunday, high of 74.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Back on Let's Talk Sports on the Kool Sports Network. Time for the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Borders Sporting Goods US 60 in Cannonsburg. For your hunting and fishing needs, as well as those Liberty gun safes, see the good folks out at Borders. All kinds of great sales going on fishing stuff right now. They've got a full collection of Lew's, St. Croix, G. Loomis, Daiwa, Shimano, all of the top name manufacturers, Abu Garcia, rods and reels out there, full selection. Fenwick rods are on sale. Anything you need, go see Brad in the game. They'll get you taken care of. Then, of course, they've got full collection of baits, hard baits, soft baits, the new freeloaders out there, the Crush City from Rapala. All that stuff's in. Brad knows I'm probably getting ready to come and see him because he knows what time it is for me. It's about time to start heading up north. And it's funny, he knows there's a certain bait that I have to have before I head north. And I call him and I say, hey, Brad, I need a restock. So a couple of years ago, it was funny. I walked in, and as soon as I walked in that day, I knew exactly what I was going for. And there's a certain type of bait that I take up north with me that I don't see anybody up there fishing with that bait. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so it's not one that I really share a lot with a lot of people. So I walk over, and take the entire peg hook off the shelf. Everything he had on the shelf, I bought it. And I walked up, and he goes, hey, I got your baits in stock. I said, no, you don't. You need a restock. I just bought them all. I will not go north unless I have these baits because, one, there's nowhere up north that has these baits. And I'm not getting 5.5 hours from home and running out. So I stock up early. I have plenty to where, we've gotten up there before and had magical days to where we caught 75 smallmouth in one day. We've caught 100+ smallmouth in a day before. And the crazy thing is that these plastic baits, they're really good, but because of where they're soft, that's what gives them so much action. They don't last super long, especially if you get aggressive fish. So, you try to work about. There's times we're taking these baits and we're rotating them around the hook to try to get them to hold on. And my son and I, we always kid with each other like, I think I can get one more out of it. And then you come back and the fish jumps and there goes your bait flying across the lake. But yeah, God, I can't wait to get up there. It's going to be awesome. Also, they've got some huge sales going on right now in archery with Hoyt and Matthews bows. The safes are again on sale, and they've got a full collection of live bait. Red worms, night crawlers, mealworms, all of those live bait needs that you need. Hey, that's a great thing tomorrow. If you got a mom that likes fishing, go take her fishing somewhere. Go see Brad and the gang today. Load up on you some live bait, and go take mom and let her go enjoy an afternoon and an evening at the lake. I think my wife, that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. She enjoys fishing, so I got to go mow grass first, and then I think we're going to jump on the boat and go up to the lake for a little bit tomorrow evening. So do something special for mom, and if mom's one of those outdoor people, go see Brad and the gang. They've got all kinds of great stuff out there to take care of mom for that Mother's Day gift that you want to get her for whatever it may be. All right, time to get up on the soapbox. Put the phone down. So a couple of weeks ago, I was doing something, and there were some school-age children at about 8:45 in the morning. And they get outdoors, and what's the first thing that they run and do? Run and find an electrical outlet. Why? Because they needed to plug in their phone. At 8:45 in the morning, you need to plug in your phone because it's almost dead. You see kids now walking around with these portable power devices. Some of them have two that they plug their phone up so they always have power on their phone. And my question is, one, why is your phone not being charged at nighttime? And two, what in God's creation are you doing on your phone that from the time you wake up in the morning between 6:30 and 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock that morning, that's less than 2 hours, that your phone is already needing to be plugged in because it's dead? It tells you one of two things. One, either you're not charging your phone because you're staying up all night and on it, or two, you need to get off your phone because you're on it way too much. Or three, both. Now, I will say this. I live, especially during sports seasons, I'm on my phone a lot, okay? But when my wife and I went on our cruise, we did not buy the internet package. We used our phones when we were at ports because we were on Wi-Fi, so we could call back home, FaceTime, send a text message, something like that. When we were at sea, we did not have service. And guess what? The world went on. Nothing I did changed the outcome of the world. Because I did not have cell phone service, the world didn't stop. The idiots still did all their idiocracy stuff. The politicians still do all their stupid political stuff. The doomsdayers still think the world's going to end. Nothing changed. And I didn't miss a thing. In the summertime, when we get away from sports, I unplug. I go off the grid. And I do that for a reason. Because for 10 months out of the year, I am consumed with electronics. So when baseball and softball season ends, outside of a few minor things that I do along the way in June and July, if I'm on my phone and you see anything from me, it's probably one of two things: fishing or some trip that we're taking. Other than that, that's it. I do not care. And it's so unhealthy to watch these kids that literally, if you told them to sit their phone down for 5 minutes and not touch it or look at it, and if anybody could do it, you'd give them a $50 bill, I guarantee you'd walk out of the room with a $50 bill. There would be some people that would be in like PTSD quivers. 3 minutes in. Oh, my God, my social status hasn't been changed. I need to check it. I tell my kids all the time, I said, listen, if you think that anybody in the world gives two farts about what your social status is, 60 seconds from now, one, you're a fool, and two, they're a liar. They don't care about your kissy face. When you go to the bathroom and you take a kissy face from the right side, and then 30 seconds later you do a kissy face from the left side, nobody cares. I don't care what they tell you to your face. I love both of my children dearly. I don't care about their social status. If I'm worried about my kids, I'll pick up the phone and say, hey, Trey, hey, Nicholas, what's up? I don't care. If you're flexing, you're one of these muscle-bound people, and you're flexing on there. Nobody cares about your muscles. Nobody cares that you have a six-pack or that you're cut. Go have another shake at a piece of chicken, for God's sakes. Nobody cares. But for the amount of time that we are consumed with electronics, especially our kids, is unhealthy. And the fact that we're doing things where kids, the first thing they do when they get indoors someplace, it's like they seek out an outlet. I'm going to make it like a thing you put over an outlet. You got to put a credit card. Oh, you want my electricity? Boop, $10. Boop, $10. I'll retire. Listen, you heard it first here, by the way. When that device shows up, and it's going to, I made it. You heard it right here on my show, okay? I'm the one that came up with the booper for the electricity, okay? But it's like airports. People are sprinting, trying to seats so they get the plugins underneath. No. If my phone's dead, one, I either forgot to charge it, it didn't charge it, or two, there's something wrong with my phone. Because I'm going to knock my phone long enough in a day that I'm going to kill a battery. And if I am, something serious is probably going through. But tell your kids, put the phone down. Go outside, do something. I remember we used to get in trouble if we stayed in the house. We get grounded and say, go outside. Well, I'm grounded. Now I know the house. No, it's kids don't know how to do things because all they do is just look stuff. They don't physically do it. They need to deal with things that's in their hands, manipulatives, situations that they have to deal with stress. They have to deal with things that run to where they have to make a decision in their life. Not looking at Snap-a-gram or Insta tweet or FaceTime and all that junk, as Bill Belichick would say. Get your kids off of social media. Get them off their phones. Make them talk to people. I hate watching people sitting side by side and they're texting each other. I'm like looking at you. Talk to me. Use your voice. Oh, I'm not real good at talking. Now's a good time to try. The reason you're not very good at it, and the reason is because you don't do it. You look at people that's successful, what they do, it's because they do stuff. Do you think Pete Rose woke up, came out of his mom, and was born into the world, and all of a sudden he was the greatest hitter in baseball? No. It's because he practiced. Allen Iverson, yeah, he practiced. We know all about him practice, okay? Michael Jordan, he practiced. Now, did they have athletic ability that was natural to them? Absolutely. But that just means that they just woke up and they were good enough to go do it. They had to do stuff. Your kids need to get off their phones. They need to learn how to interact with people in a natural social setting and stop running to electrical outlets. That's the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Big thanks to Marty Mills and Scott Ingram joining me here this morning. Always a pleasure talking with those two gentlemen. And, again, last week of the regular season today, or this week, postseason starts up on May 20th. We got one game on tap today over in Lewis County and East Carter. 12 o'clock first pitch between the Raiders and the Lions. We'll have it for you on Kool TV beginning at 11:45. That's it for me this week. Again, Mother's Day, Mom, and to all the great moms out there around the area, we greatly appreciate all you do for all of our kids. And, of course, my mother, I love you so much. Thanks for all you've always done for me. Dwayne only screwed up a little bit. Not too bad, but at least he played some decent music this morning. But, no, Dwayne does a pretty good